सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे 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 सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
Dear devotees, you are about to embark on the greatest journey of your life, a journey to the core of your inner being. Please, all in a low voice, follow the Omkar and let your mind reach a quietude of silence. All together, let us repeat the pranava. Please sit up straight, and in the quietness of your mind, hear the sound of your breathing. Breathe in and out, in, out. Now, open your eyes and see the light in front of you. This is the light of a candle. Gaze intently at the light. Now, feel the light shining in the center of your forehead. Now half close your eyes and feel the light in the center of your forehead. Now, let that light come down your neck to the center of your chest. Imagine a flower, a lotus, opening petal by petal to receive the light. Now the light is resting on the lotus. The lotus disappears. Only the light remains. But it is no more the light of the candle. It is a round ball of formless light. It is a light of divinity within you. Feel this light now expand, and feel the light going down your body, into your legs, up to your feet. Feel warmth as the light surges through your limbs. And make this mental vow, O Lord, my legs, touched by the light of your divinity, will always take me only to places of goodness. Feel the light surging upwards, up into your chest, around your shoulders, and down into your arms and fingers. Feel the warmth as this light surges through you. Make this mental vow, O Lord. My arms, touched by the light of your divinity, will only yearn to do what is good. Now feel the light surging upwards into your neck and into your face, into your head, and the light now shines in your eyes. Make a vow. My eyes must yearn to see only what is good. Feel the light now shining in your ears. My ears must yearn to hear only what is good. Feel the light now shining on your lips. My lips must yearn to only speak what is good. Now, feel this light now shining into your whole body. The light illumines the body. In your mind, repeat the words, the light is in me. Now feel the light expand. Expand, and you are now sitting in a ball of light, in a cone of formless light. Let your mind say, the light is within me, I am in the light. Feel a thrill of this light, and now feel this light expanding and filling this entire room with a divine glow. And let this light now go beyond this room, beyond and beyond, spreading ever further to this whole country, and beyond this country, beyond oceans and beyond nations. Let this light flow ever outwards to encompass the whole world. Now, imagine yourself, not your physical body, but an inner being within you, like a gigantic divine form, sitting on the globe, and the light of your divinity, the light of your love, encompassing the whole world. Stay for a moment, thrilled in that thought. Now, bring into your mind's eye and send your light of love to all the creatures of the world, all the animals and insects, creatures that fly or crawl. All of them are God's creatures. Send your light of love now to those whom you dislike or whom you think dislike you. Send your love, send your light of love to them. The same Atma in you is also in them. Let them feel the radiance of your light. Let them feel the radiance of your love. Now, into your mind's eye, bring those you love, your spouse, children, relations, friends, whoever. Bathe them with the divine glow of your love. Feel oneness with the whole world. Feel at peace with yourself. And now, look inside you. Can you imagine? Do you see a ball of light within you? In this ball of light, bring in the form of the Ishtadeva, the divine being that you love and worship. See this form smiling within you. See this divine form raise his hands in blessing. You have shared your love with the world. Now, receive the blessing and darshan of the divine within. Stay for a moment, thrilled in this thought that you and he are one. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulil Kareem. Wa ba'd. Assalamu alaikum all. Peace and blessings be upon you all. I'd like to take this opportunity to start off by thanking you all, and specifically Bhavin, who contacts me every single year and asks me if I would like the opportunity to address your congregation. And it is a great honor for me. It's a great privilege for me that you actually invite me every year and give me the opportunity to do this. And I'm very grateful for this. So I just want to start off by thanking you all for yet again giving me another opportunity to address the congregation and share with you some reflections, some spiritual reflections. This year I've been asked to talk about my experience with lockdown in Ramadan, the Islamic month of Ramadan, and specifically my experiences through with Ramadan in this kind of lockdown time, in these unusual circumstances that we find ourselves in. One common question that I usually get concerning any kind of hardship, but specifically this scenario that we're in right now, this situation that we're in right now, is whether this is actually a tribulation from God or whether it's a blessing from God. According to Islamic tradition, any situation that arises, we are supposed to look at this as a blessing from God and an opportunity for us to connect with Him. The issue is how we respond to these situations. God gives us all these opportunities. God gives us all these situations that He puts us in to give us an opportunity to connect with Him at a very deep spiritual level. And it's about looking at the situation that we're in and looking at the bigger picture, and not just the microcosm that we're in, or that moment, or the fraction, or like, let's say, the tip of the iceberg. Not just looking at the small bit, but looking at the bigger picture. In the Quran, God mentions, and He starts off the Quran with Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises to God, the Rabb of the world. And I'll come to the word Rabb in a moment. But He starts off by saying, Alhamdu, all praise is to God. In that we should show gratefulness to God, that God is worthy of all praise, and that we should show our gratefulness to Him. And the key thing about gratefulness is that gratefulness inspires positivity within our lives. And it's interesting because positivity is the one thing that we need, especially during times of isolation. And positivity is really it's a really key aspect to our mental health and mental well-being. So God starts off by saying, be grateful, and I will increase you in positivity. He then moves on to saying, He is Rabb of the worlds. Rabb of the worlds. Now, the word Rabb, you'll find it in many different languages. You'll find it in Hindi, you'll find it in Urdu, you'll perhaps find it in Farsi, but you'll also find it in Arabic. And the word Rabb, usually translated as Lord or Sustainer, quite loosely. Taking a deeper look at this word, Rabb in the Arabic language actually comes back from the root of rabab, the word rabab, which is clouds, and clouds that bring forth rain that is beneficial in a way that it nurtures the land, it nourishes the land, and the land brings forth vegetation that is beneficial for humankind, that beneficial for all of creation, really. And God takes this word Rabb, from that word rabab, So in essence, what God is trying to say to us is that I am your nourisher. I am your nurturer. And more importantly, above all of that, I am your educator. How does this all link together? How does this all link together? Coming back to the situation of the lockdown, God has put us in this situation. God has put us in this scenario to help us learn how to deal with hardships. How to deal with hardships. And our responses to these will bring about wisdom. And the isolation specifically, the element of isolation specifically, which I will talk to you about in a moment, is that God is putting us through a situation where we have the opportunity to be grateful to Him for the things that we have. Like, for example, this isolation has brought about families becoming closer. Although we're apart, we've used all these different means that are available to us to become closer to our families, giving us a chance to slow down, giving us just a chance to disconnect from the fast-paced, moving material world, and just slow down and just think and reflect and change perspective. So God has given us this opportunity to reflect upon these situations. Now, coming to the spiritual merits of isolation, what we find in the history of world religions and what we find in the history of existence is that God has always given the opportunity or the chance for all of His elect saints, prophets, the great people of God to go through a period of isolation. I'll give you a few examples. Start off with the wife of Abraham, Hajar. Hajar was given the opportunity, or was told, to be put into the desert with her young son, and was isolated in the barren lands of Makkah at the time, when there was just 2 mountains. There was nothing. And God put her through this time of isolation. At that time she struggled. At that time she sought for help. At that time she beseeched God. But what was the upshot from all of this? What happened as a result? At the end of this, what we see is that the well of Zamzam was found, and it's a well that's still running till today. The water is still bringing life to the whole of Makkah, and Makkah became a city as a result. It was a barren land, it's a desert, it's in the middle of Arabia, and it became a city that was then populated and visited frequently by all faiths, and it was a place of pilgrimage, and it remains to be a place of pilgrimage, and it will remain to be a place of pilgrimage until the end of time. It became a place of God. That till today, that people still visit that place for pilgrimage. Another example is Mary, the mother of Jesus. From a very young age, she was put into isolation within the precincts of the temple and put to the service of God. And God gave her fruits from paradise. And this is found in the Quran. This is found in the Bible, and also in the Torah. And you'll find that later in her life, she was blessed with giving birth to Jesus, and Jesus becoming a figurehead and a leader for many world religions and for many people, even people of faith and no faith. They look to Jesus at least as a man of great morals and a great standing. Thereafter, we have Moses. Moses, after going through a period of isolation in the desert, God gave him great blessings. He gave him a wife, He gave him a spouse, He gave him prophethood, and then gave him the opportunity to go free the people of Egypt, the people who were downtrodden. And thereafter, he had the 40 days that he spent up in the Mount Sinai, where God then blessed him with the tablets of the 10 Commandments, which again are 10 commandments that are used by many people throughout the world today as a force of good, and to live a pure, beautiful existence. We then move on, and we come to the Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad, from the tradition of obviously the Muslims. And Prophet Muhammad, in his time, he lived in Makkah much later, after the wife of Abraham, and after he had become a full-fledged city. He found that the people at that time had started exploiting their position of power. They started exploiting the downtrodden and the weak. And Prophet Muhammad was, peace and blessings be upon him, was really troubled by this. He really didn't like this. And towards the later part of his life, he started to retreat in the mountains, specifically the mountain known as Jabal al-Nur, the mountain of light. And it was in this time of isolation, he would spend a great deal of time in isolation, that God sent down Gabriel with his word, with the words of God, not only did these words transform the Prophet Muhammad, they transformed the Quraysh, the people of Makkah at that time. They transformed the whole of Makkah. They transformed the whole of the Arabian Peninsula. They transformed the whole world and humanity right till the end of time. Today you have 2 billion plus followers of Muhammad, ardent followers of Muhammad. And as the wife of Muhammad would say, that the Prophet Muhammad, his character was the Quran. And the Quran starts with the words, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. And Prophet Muhammad himself has been described as Rahmatul lil Alameen, the mercy to mankind, the mercy to humanity. That he was the most merciful and taught us how to be merciful, taught us how to be peaceful, taught us how to be loving. So we find 2 million ardent followers, 2 billion ardent followers of the Prophet Muhammad, upholding the flag of peace, love, tranquility, and happiness. And you'll see that not only do Muslims, but non-Muslims alike, people who do not follow the religion of Islam specifically, look to Muhammad as a figurehead and a leader. And many authors, many academics, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, have written much literature about him and his transformative nature, and how his time and his era and the message that he brought transformed humanity. Bringing this all together now, Ramadan, isolation, lockdown. Ramadan is a time to connect with God. It is a time when we connect with the Word of God. The story that I just mentioned, where God revealed the verses of the Quran to Muhammad in the mountain, in isolation at that time, was actually in the month of Ramadan. It was actually in the month of Ramadan. So Ramadan is a time where we connect with the Word of God and try and truly understand His Word, trying to truly understand what He's trying to say to us and what is expected of us and what He wants of us, what God actually wants from us, what is our purpose, and so on. But in Ramadan as well, there's an additional principle that we have. It's an optional principle. It's not something that all Muslims have to do or need to do, but you'll find Muslims up and all around the world, usually in the last 10 days of Ramadan, which we're in right now, the last 10 days of Ramadan, that they will retreat to the mosque and they will spend the last 10 nights, or even a few nights, even sometimes 1 or 2 nights, but some do the full 10, a full last 10 nights in isolation. It's a principle that's been going on for the last 1500 years in the Islamic tradition, that isolation is a part of what we do to ascend the heights of spirituality. And these people, a few from each community, will go to a mosque, retreat to a masjid, retreat to a mosque, and their sole purpose is to find God, to spiritually connect with God, to read the Quran, understand His Word, and spiritually really reconnect with God, and just put aside all the material and connect with the spiritual. So it's a principle of our religion, of Islam, that we are asked to do isolation anyway. In this time right now, God has given us the opportunity to do isolation nonetheless. We are asked to isolate and stay at home, due to the coronavirus, due to this pandemic and virus that's taken place, to the situation. So in the same way, in the last 10 days of Ramadan, that some people retreat to the places of worship and look to connect with God, this isolation is something that in my reflections, from my perspective, is a time for us to retreat and think about God and connect with God. So my concluding remarks about this lockdown in terms of isolation is that when we look at the lockdown, coming back to the first question, is it a blessing, is it a tribulation? I firmly believe that this is a blessing from God. I firmly believe that this is a blessing from God. It's God's way of giving us an experience, giving us an education based upon experience, and giving us the opportunity to endure hard times, so that it gives us the ability to connect with Him. It's an opportunity to connect with Him. God gave all His elect servants, all His elect people, all the people of God from our great past, from the glorious past of our faiths. You'll see that a lot of them, if not all of them, went through great periods of isolation. And at the end of these periods of isolation, there was great fruits that we bore from it, and some of which we benefit till today. So I pray that we benefit from this isolation, just like the elect servants of God, that we take heed of the lessons that He's trying to teach us. And most importantly, I pray that through these reflections and through this time where we're slowing down, through this time where God has given us the opportunity to change perspective, that peace and love triumph over the forces of evil out there. And those forces of evil are the true plague. They're the true virus. So I pray that this time of isolation, that we are given the opportunity to reflect, to connect, to change perspective, and give us the opportunity to bring about a peace and a loving society, peaceful and loving world where peace and love triumphs over all that which is evil. Lastly, I'd like to once again state the statement of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, to the tradition of Prophet Muhammad, that states that a person has not truly thanked God until he has thanked people. So once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for giving me this chance to address you, to share my reflections of isolation, share my reflections of Ramadan, share my reflections of spirituality with you. And I hope that I'll be able to give you, I hope I'll be able to do this again sometime in the near future. Thank you once again. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings be upon you all. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah.
Gori Nandana
Allah Sai, Mola Sai, Allah Sai, Mola Sai, Allah Sai, Mola Sai, Allah Sai, Mola Sai, Sadhu Sai.
Ramzan marks the month in which you revealed the Holy Quran to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Swami, we pray to you that you be with us as the cool breeze which vanquishes our sorrows and gives us strength to continue performing your work. Bless us with charity, unity, love, service, detachment and joy, so we may ultimately spread your teachings in the world. For Swami, when we look into your eyes, we see your eyes in the world. Jai Sai Ram.
अर्ज़िया सारी मैं चेहरे पे लिख के लाया हूँ, तुमसे क्या मांगूं मैं, तुम खुद ही समझ लो। ओ मौला 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 मेरे मौला, मौला 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 मेरे मौला, मौला 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 मेरे मौला, मौला 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 कर दो मौला मेरे मौला 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 मेरे मौला 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 तेरे दर पे झुका हूँ मिटा हूँ बना हूँ
तेरे दर पे झुका हूँ मिटा हूँ बना हूँ
मरम्मत मुकद्दर की कर दो मौला
मरम्मत मुकद्दर की कर दो मौला
मौला मौला मौला मेरे मौला 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 मौला
मौला मौला मौला मेरे मौला 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 मौला
जो भी तेरे दर आया झुकने जो सर आया मस्तियाँ पिए सबको झूमता नजर आया प्यास लेके आया था दरिया वो भर लाया नूर की बारिश में भीगता सतर आया नूर की बारिश में ओ नूर की बारिश में भीगता सतर आया मौला 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 मेरे मौला 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 दरारे दरारे है माथे पे मौला मरम्मत मुकद्दर की कर दो मौला मेरे मौला मेरे मौला मेरे मौला मोहब्बत की कमी दिल में अगर एहसास होता है जरा जाको तो पाओगे कि साई पास होता है ओ करिश्मा ये उसी का है कि दुनिया खूबसूरत लगती है वरना आदमी को आदमी क्या राज होता है ओ साई बिन रहा न जाए ओ साई बिन रहा न जाए ओ साई बिन रहा न जाए साई बिन रहा न जाए चैन न आए मोहे चैन न आए चैन न आए मोहे चैन न आए साई बिन रहा न जाए ओ साई बिन रहा न जाए जब से देखा तुझको साई मेरे दर्श के प्यासे नैना साज सवेरे जब से है देखा तुझको साई मेरे दर्श के प्यासे नैना साज सवेरे मिट मर जाए तुझ पे हमसे न रूठे तू जिंदगी सौंप दे हम चरणों में तेरे यू जिंदगी सौंप दे हम चरणों में तेरे यू जिंदगी सौंप दे हम चरणों में तेरे यू जाओ न साई, मन मंदिर से जाओ न साई। चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए, ओ साईं बिन रहा न जाए। तू मेरा दिल मेरी धड़कन, तू ही है मंजिल मेरी, तू ही है मंजिल मेरी। मेरा जीवन तेरा दर्शन, मेरी सब सांसें भी तेरी, मेरी सब सांसें भी तेरी। तुझ पे कुर्बान हो ये जीवन, तुझ पे कुर्बान हो ये जीवन। अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, बस तमन्ना है ये मेरी। तुझ पे कुर्बान हो ये जीवन, अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, अब तमन्ना है ये मेरी, बस तमन्ना है ये मेरी। साईं बिन रहा न जाए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए। चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, चैन न आए मोहे, चैन न आए, साईं बिन रहा न जाए, ओ साईं बिन रहा न जाए, ओ साईं बिन रहा न जाए। रखियो भला झूले लाल रे, लाल मेरी पत रखियो भला झूले लाल रे। सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा, सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा, सखी शाबाश कलंदर, दमादम कलंदर, अली दा पहला नंबर, सिवाड़ी लाल कलंदर, मधुबंती लाल कलंदर, हो दमादम मस्त कलंदर, मस्त कलंदर, मस्त कलंदर। बचरे देवे मावानू पीड़ा बचरे देवे, भैणा नु देवे, भैणा नु देवे, भैणा नु देवे, वीर मिला जुले लाल रे। सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा, सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा, सखी शाबाश कलंदर, दमादम कलंदर, अली दा पहला नंबर, सिवाड़ी लाल कलंदर, मधुमती लाल कलंदर हो दमादम मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर चार चराग तेरे चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा पंजवा में बालन पंजवा में बालन पंजवा में बालन आया भला झूले लालन सिद्धड़ीदा सेवरदा सिद्धड़ीदा सेवरदा सखी शाबाश कलंदर नवादम कलंदर अलीदा पहला नंबर सेवाड़ी लाल कलंदर मधुमती लाल कलंदर हो नवादम मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर ऊंचा रोजा पीरा तेरा ऊंचा रोजा पीरा ऊंचा रोजा पीरा तेरा
ऊंचा रोजा पीरा तेरा
हाथ बगे हो हाथ बगे घड़ी याल बना झूले लालण सिद्धड़ीदा सेवड़दा सिद्धड़ीदा सेवड़दा सखी शाबाश कलंदर दबादम मस्त कलंदर अलीदा पहला नंबर सेवाड़ी लाल कलंदर मधुमती लाल कलंदर हो दबादम मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर गणना गणना तेरी नौबत बाजे 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 नाल बजे हो नाल बजे घड़ी गल बला झूले लालण सिद्धड़ीदा सेवड़दा सिद्धड़ीदा सेवड़दा सखी शाबाश कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अलीदा पहला नंबर सेवाड़ी लाल कलंदर मधुमती लाल कलंदर हो दमादम मस्त कलंदर अलीदा पहला नंबर सेवाड़ी लाल कलंदर मधुमती लाल कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अलीदा पहला नंबर सेवाड़ी लाल कलंदर मधुमती लाल कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर 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 शरीक लहू वहदहू ला इलाहा इल्लहू वहदहू ला इलाहा इल्लहू शम्स तबरेज़ गर खुदा तलबी शम्स तबरेज़ शम्स तबरेज़ गर खुदा तलबी खुशबू खा ला इलाहा इल्लहू तेरे ही नाम से तेरे ही नाम से हर इब्तिदा है तेरे ही नाम तक हर इंतहा है तेरी हमदो सना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह कि तू मेरे मोहम्मद का खुदा है अल्लाहु 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 जब न थी ये जहाँ जब न था ये ज़मीं जब न थी ये जहाँ जब न था चाँद सूरज न थे आसमां जब न था चाँद सूरज न थे आसमां जब न था राज़े हक भी किसी पर आया जब न था राज़े हक भी किसी पर आया जब न था तब न था कुछ यहाँ तब न था कुछ यहाँ मगर तू ही तू अल्लाहू 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 मालिकुल मुल्क ला शरीक लहू वहदहू ला इलाहा इल्ला हू अल्लाहू 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 सना बशर के लिए है बशर सना के लिए है तमाम हम सदावार रहे खुदा के लिए है अता के सामने या रब खता का जिक्र ही क्या कि तू अता के लिए है बशर खता के लिए अल्लाहू 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 ये पहुँचे मेराज में अर्श तक मुस्तफा पहुँचे मेराज में अर्श तक मुस्तफा जब न महबूदो बंदे में पर्दा रहा जब न महबूदो बंदे में पर्दा रहा तब मलाइक ने हजरत से झुक कर कहा तब मलाइक ने हजरत से चुप कर कहा सारी मखलूक में हक नुमा तू ही तू अल्लाहू 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 की आईनदार है, हर शय पुकारती है तू परवरदिगार है। अल्लाह 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 Sara sani sagare gani ni dara dani dara dani sare sa ni dara dani sagare gani ni dara dani sare sa ni sa dani da pa ma ga re ni sa dani ma pa ni dani da pa ma ga ni dani da pa ma ga re ga sagare Allahu 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 la ilaha teri shan ya wahdahu la ilaha तेरी शान या वहदहू तू ख्यालो तजस्सुस तू ही आरज़ू तू ख्यालो तजस्सुस तू ही आरज़ू आँख की रोशनी दिल की आवाज़ तू आँख की रोशनी दिल की आवाज़ तू ये था भी तू है भी तू था भी तू है भी तू ये था भी तू है भी तू था भी तू है भी तू और होगा भी तू ही तू अल्लाहू 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 अल्लाहू
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Hriday Nivasi, Bhagawan Sai Baba. Jai Saram to you all. Following on from last month's live gratitude and mindfulness study circle, next Thursday, join us for another live satsang session themed Bliss is my food. Bhagawan said, as is the food, so is the mind. As is the mind, so are the thoughts. As are the thoughts, so is the conduct. As is the conduct, so is the health. In the session, we will explore and share ideas on Bhagawan's teachings on healthy eating, and we want you to participate too. In preparation and lead up to next week's session, we'd like you to keep a food diary. There are so many benefits of keeping a food diary, such as getting a true picture, a visual of what you consume. you learn how certain foods make you feel. As I mentioned earlier, Bhagawan in his own words said, "As is the food, so is the mind." Keeping a food diary also allows you to be more mindful when eating, and it can also help you prepare meals and be more organized. Alongside the food diary, you should also aim to keep a spiritual diary of all your activities. What are you doing to feed the soul? As we nourish our bodies with food, spiritual activities are also foods for the soul. The downloadable diary template also lets you add notes of all your sadhana activities you may be doing in the lockdown, such as singing bhajans, reading Sai literature, yoga, meditation, or even helping family or friends in the lockdown. You can download a template at nrsaicentre.org.uk/resources. That's nrsaicentre.org.uk/resources. Or you could keep a diary on your mobile phone. We encourage you all to take part and download the diary template to keep track of your eating habits, which you can then review next week. Start the diary from this Friday right up until next Thursday. We'll now hear from Chirag, who will explain in more detail about next Saturday's online Paduka Puja. Stay safe and positive. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram. As some of you may know, on the 30th of May, we are going to all conduct a Paduka Pujan. Everybody will come together and worship Bhagawan's lotus feet. When Bhagawan Leicester Sai declared that he was Sai Baba, or an incarnation of the Sai Baba of Shirdi, the first bhajan Bhagawan sang was Manasa Bhajari Guru Charanam Dustar Bhavasagar Taranam. O mind, O soul, let us all worship the feet of the divine Guru, who will take us through the existence of this world, through this worldly existence. So, following that, and to pray for the whole world, which we always say Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, we are going to come together and conduct a Paduka Pujan, just the way we did a Laksharchan a few weeks ago. It will all be online and you'll be able to conduct it at the comfort of your own homes. In terms of what you need, the list is a bit bigger than Laksharchan, so but you can find the list in our Sai Centres website. Most of you have taken part in Paduka Pujans before, so you will know what to get. One request is, please don't specially go out to get these items. Just get these items when you go for your normal shopping, and let us adhere to the guidelines given to us by the government. If anybody doesn't have any item, for example, if you don't have Nagarvel Napan, which in English we call them betel leaves, it is fine. You don't need to go from shop to shop to find them. There is another way to offer anything that one doesn't have. I will elaborate more on that in the Paduka Puja itself. So if you can't get anything, don't worry too much about it, and let us worship his lotus feet wholeheartedly and look forward to this wonderful Paduka Puja, which will be done online. Jai Sai Ram.